My name is Miguel Lopez de Leon, and I'm the author of several young adult, middle grade, and dark fantasy novels. Today I wanted to talk about suggestions for completing the first draft of your manuscript. So, helpful suggestions for completing your manuscript. This is just what's worked for me. Do what works for you. What is one of the most challenging times when I'm writing my first draft? I realized it's just completing the first draft. I often start very strong with the first draft of the manuscript. I'm usually very excited and happy about where it's going and excited to begin. When I'm about 3/4 done, that's usually when it gets challenging. Over the years, I've noticed there's certain things that help, and I want to share that with you. Tip number 1, change the location of writing. When I get to that place in my manuscript during the end where I'm like, okay, I just gotta finish this. For whatever reason, it helps to switch rooms or to switch where I've been working. If you're the type who does sit at a desk, try switching that, just another place. I don't know why. Could just be the energy around you if you believe in that. Whatever it is, I've noticed it helps. I tend to finish my first draft that much faster. Another tip that I've noticed works for me when I'm nearing the last 1/4 of my manuscript of the first draft is to set aside long periods of time to really finish it. Now, I know for a lot of us that's difficult with day jobs and with other projects. If you're able to, give it a try. If you usually set aside an hour or two for writing, try, if possible, let's say on the weekend, to give yourself the entire day. It just sort of lets your mind get fully immersed in it without getting interrupted. So it's not just, okay, yeah, obviously you have a lot more time to do it. It's also uninterrupted time where you could really immerse yourself in that world. The third tip would be just a change in perspective. Anything can be edited. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, this also applies throughout the entire process of writing your first draft and just writing in general. But especially during the end, when you sort of want to wrap up your whole world and your whole story for the book you're writing, to just really know it doesn't have to be perfect. Anything can be edited, so don't feel I have to get this down perfectly and clearly and have everything figured out before I put it on the page. Now, of course, yes, in an ideal world, great. If you can do that, do it. But for a lot of writers, we know most of it. And then when we reread it, we're like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Or there's a hole in my logic there. I need to make more sense of that. Or something I said in some previous chapters doesn't make sense to what I'm writing now. And that's normal and that's fine. And really, that's expected that you go over it and you fix it and you figure out your flaws and you make it a stronger manuscript. But don't do that, in my opinion, during the first draft. You do that once the first draft is done and once your foundation is set. So again, change your location, set aside, if possible, large amounts of time to get that last 1/4 of your manuscript done, not just for the obvious reason of more time will equal more work being done, but also to let your mind fully immerse itself in the world you're creating. Think of it as that last sprint before the finish line, and also a change in perspective. Don't feel that you have to have every single thing figured out and every single detail tied up before you feel that you're gonna finish this manuscript. Now, of course, if you can, great. But if there are things that need to be tweaked, things that need to be altered, that's normal. And just remember, anything can be edited. Just think of the first draft as your foundation. Don't think of it as the finished product. So know that you're going to go over it many, many more times. The point right now is to finish the first draft. I hope these tips and these suggestions help. I know these things seem kind of deceptively simple, but I have found them to work. Feel free to subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you later.